Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Addison. I am the columnist and editor of the Long Beach Post, and I am super honored and happy to have the man that we have on today. Joining us is Tank Gonzales. He's not only the co-owner of downtown Long Beach's tattoo space and gallery, The Raven and the Wolves. He's basically the one-man band behind connecting Long Beach with chef Jose Andres' World Central Kitchen. Before we get into our conversation, I just want to give a little prepper as to what this program is, and then we'll get into details about how Long Beach became one of the few cities in the nation doing this with the World Central Kitchen. So basically, the World Central Kitchen started a pilot feeding program that not only hires and pays local kitchen staff to prepare meals, those meals get dispersed to marginalized populations. Tank, when he was connected with this program, decided that seniors across the city and even through to San Pedro needed to be fed. So they've been feeding thousands of seniors every day over the past few weeks. So we're going to have him tell us how he got there. But first, Tank, why don't you give yourself a little introduction and maybe a little history for people who don't know who you are?
All right, Brian, thank you very much. Pleasure to be on here talking to you. Nice to virtually be talking to everybody out there. So I opened my first business in Long Beach back in 2011, opened my first law firm here, which is still open, even though it's on life support now, and met a world-renowned artist, a guy named Carlos Torres, who is a downtown Long Beach resident. And he and I teamed up to build The Raven and the Wolves. So we really love Long Beach, love downtown, love contributing to the art scene and the culture and the diversity of this beautiful place that it is. We have an art gallery and a tattoo studio. So it's fine art, pushing really, pushing the boundaries of what art is doing. But I also have, in my spare time, tried to give back to the world. I was a kid that maybe didn't have too much of a shot at a future. And I've really received some blessings along the way and some doors opened that surprisingly, led to some beautiful places. So I feel a responsibility to pay that forward. So in 2017, you had hurricanes Ike and Maria that devastated the Caribbean and in particular, Puerto Rico. I didn't feel that the response to the crisis in Puerto Rico was sufficient. And it looked like there was really still a lot of damage there that most Americans were ignoring. So recruited my little sister and my cousin and raised a bunch of money, raised about 20 grand and flew to Puerto Rico with the idea to cook. I met a guy named Josh Phelps who was kind of trying to do the same thing, and we met via text from a third party. Josh and I end up down there together along with my cousin and sister, and I think we prepared about 20,000 meals in the 2 weeks that we were down in Puerto Rico. So it was incredible. But that's also the time when Jose Andres' organization, World Central Kitchen, shifted its mission. And since that time, Josh actually stuck around with World Central Kitchen. He's now the manager for all these relief operations in kitchens all across the world. So wherever there's a disaster, there's World Central Kitchen is really the motto. So I was really pleased that it started then. Last year, I was lucky enough, Josh called me down to Tijuana to help with the migrant caravan that was stuck at the border. So we fed, again, raised some money really quickly, laced the people up with boots. They'd been walking from sometimes Honduras in the same pair of shoes. So got them a bunch of working boots. It was getting cold, so got them a bunch of warm clothes. And again, World Central Kitchen's mission was to cook. So I was with Josh, just going places, trying to find functional kitchens, trying to find places where we could provide meals for all these migrants that were really stuck with no home to go back to. So really believe in World Central Kitchen. It's been a pleasure working with them.
Now, I think it's interesting. It's almost as if these tests for the World Central Kitchen have built it up for this, because COVID-19 is obviously something that the world clearly wasn't expecting, but certainly, Jose Andres was not expecting the whole world to simultaneously shut down. Could you explain to people the new approach with COVID-19 that yet again shifted World Central Kitchen's focus?
Happy to. So, back when Josh and I first got to Puerto Rico, World Central Kitchen was 3 people. And now the core of World Central Kitchen is 40 employees. So it's really scaled up. And again, that was send a group of people to a disaster area to cook. because of COVID-19, the whole world is kind of a disaster area right now. But you can't do what the model historically was, which was show up in a disaster area, get a kitchen going, and then just bring thousands of humans into the same place. That's not going to work here. So Jose Andres, being a restaurateur, obviously his heart is massive, right? And he's thinking about feeding people wherever he can. But being a restaurateur, he saw the devastation on the restaurant economy and thought, this is a place that World Central Kitchen can shift its model, but get that funding to local restaurants, local restaurateurs who can bring their staff back, hopefully kickstart this small restaurant industry while also maintaining the mission to feed those who really, really need it. It's incredible to see how fast they pivoted and really started getting meals out really, really quickly.
Now, I love this idea that you were so desperate to help in Puerto Rico, hence why you ended up there. By serendipity, you meet Josh, get connected with this World Central Kitchen, and kind of through serendipity again, Josh is like, I trust you, I adore you, man, run with this idea in Long Beach. Can you tell folks how, I mean, this was basically in the span of a week, if I remember our last conversation correctly, right? That you were like, I want this idea of rehiring kitchens in Long Beach. Let's start feeding seniors. But I mean, this thing was from that to full throttle in a week, right?
Yeah, it's insane, man. So I actually had a bit of a rough couple weeks, just watching my businesses get pummeled, man. It was really tough. And I'm usually a really optimistic, happy person. And man, I just felt like I was getting beaten up. So I had a Sunday where I kind of was meditating and thinking and really trying to gather myself. And I thought, man, I gotta call Josh. So I hit up Josh thinking maybe I'll give some money because I can't go volunteer somewhere. So Josh graciously rejected my money idea and said, I've got something a little bigger for you, and explained the new business model at World Central Kitchen and said, hey, me and him are really close. We've worked together on enough projects and we know each other well. And he said, hey, man, we're doing this pilot program. It's not really public news yet, but if you want to do it in Long Beach, and everybody knows my feelings for Long Beach, then hey, man, have at it. But, it came with the warning that there's not really infrastructure to help. It's kind of going to be me doing it and me figuring it out. And hey, he didn't put pressure on me, but I felt it internally. But luckily, I followed Josh around with a camera in Tijuana, really seeing him set it up and work. And it's incredible what he does. So I said, all right, man, I'll do my poor man's version of Josh Phelps and get to work on this. So it started the next morning, Monday morning, is, the gap between I've got a really good idea and I'm going to commit myself to it is often, too big for a lot of people to make the leap. I've had a lot of good ideas I never followed through on, but this felt like something really important. I felt a strong calling in this time. So I just picked up the phone, called Carlos, my business partner, to the studio, and said, I've got an idea. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to start making calls, and told him, that this was about to jump off. So I just started making phone calls. I called my buddy Josh Lafarga, who's tied in with Long Beach politics. I called Christy Caldwell, who owns The Ordinary, that's right under a tattoo studio. Before long, I'm on the phone with Diana Tang, who's the chief of staff for Mayor Garcia. And really, I just spent the next 5 days nonstop calling people and emailing people. And again, this isn't...
You were cold calling people. You were calling people that had no idea who you were. Like Luis Navarro and Brenda Rivera from Lola's had no idea who you were. You just called them and were like, I need your help.
Yeah, just about everybody I called except Christy. Everybody else I called was pretty much a stranger. And it's funny because World Central Kitchen hadn't put out any press about this yet because it was a pilot. So basically I started all of these conversations. Hi, my name is Tank. I own a tattoo studio called The Raven and the Wolves. I really want to help you right now. I'm a skeptic, man. It sounds ridiculous. And a lot of it was like, man, a lot of people are going to have to trust me really, really quickly if we're going to get this thing rolling. And thankfully, Josh Lafarga and Christy both knew me and kind of vouched for me. And a lot of people took a lot of leaps of faith. And the restaurants, Luis and Brenda and Christy started buying groceries. There wasn't money ahead of time. It was buy this and I promise you'll get paid. And so much of this had to happen so quickly because within 5 days, I mean, we're up, we're cooking, we're getting meals out of the door. And there's not a lot of contact with World Central Kitchen other than me. Luckily, they're my friends, but they basically said, hey, you guys talk to Tank and we'll make this work. And, called up Derek Stansfield from UPS, cold called him and said, hey, man, I'm having a hard time figuring out how I'm going to deliver all these meals. Do you think UPS could be of help here? 4 hours later, Derek calls me back and says UPS would be really happy to donate a truck and drivers to deliver 100% of these meals. Incredible.
Wow.
Incredible.
And one of the most powerful things about this program, it's always a good thing to donate food. But during this time, the service industry and the hospitality industry have seen such a blow that tens of thousands of Angelenos have lost their jobs. So the fact that these kitchens get fully rehired, they have 40-hour work weeks. I mean, when I was talking with Lewis from Lola's, one of his workers, the day that he called her to say, hey, you're back in the kitchen 40 hours a week, was the day her husband just lost her job. So the impact of this program isn't just feeding people in need. It's also providing a lot of our kitchen workers with their jobs back.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we're close. We're close to 30 jobs returned to Long Beach. I mean, those are the people. I'm not seeing the seniors. Even when I do deliveries, we drop at the front door for ultra safety purposes. But I've been around all these workers. I've been in these kitchens. I've seen this staff. The joy of not only having their jobs back, which is huge because all of my staff is laid off. Unfortunately, I wish I could give their jobs back. But for all of these employees that really are living check to check to get their jobs back, one, but also knowing what they're doing, knowing they're a part of this bigger mission, knowing that they're feeding seniors that can't get food, seeing the joy wash over all of these faces, replacing fear with hope, replacing sadness with joy. It's absolutely incredible. I wish I had words to describe how it's felt watching this all unfold on so many levels.
We have questions from readers coming in, and one of the questions, and I've even received it a lot, and my response has always been the same, and maybe you can clarify a little bit more. A lot of people want to connect seniors with this program. I've said that you guys largely work with senior communities rather than individuals simply because of operations and efficiency. Is that the correct response, or do you want to elaborate on how maybe seniors that aren't part of communities can maybe get connected with food?
Happy to. Just looking at the scale of things, right? There's 350 million Americans plus. Most of them at this point are being affected, right? I mean, the 1%, let's toss them out. But, everybody's getting hammered by this, and not every program is the same. So, I targeted the senior population with this because of how contagious the virus is and how dangerous it is. But it's easier. We have 7 different facilities now that we're working with. So we're really focused on facilities. One, for health reasons. It's easier if we can distribute directly to a facility that has a bunch of seniors in there. So that's how we've gone about this program, is doing it at scale, right? It's just, UPS is a great partner to us, but I don't know that they want to donate, that they can donate, 100 trucks to feed everybody. I wish I could feed everybody in Long Beach, but I'm one guy, right? Really trying to scale this up. And I'm one of a lot of people all across the nation that's jumping in for World Central Kitchen and trying to help parts of their community. I know World Central Kitchen, even in the South Bay, in Hyde Park, is handing out meals at churches in a drive-through fashion. But in Long Beach, our mission has really been try to impact as many seniors as we can by going to the facility route, which also means it creates predictable flow that our local restaurants can count on and kind of forecast. So as much as I would love to feed every senior in Long Beach and drop off meals myself, it's kind of not practical either. But we're trying, man. We're trying to add more facilities. We do have some good news as we try to scale this thing up that just came in today. So we're really trying to add more facilities. And I know that there's other resources out there for individuals. I wish I could help, but that's where the focus is now, is facilities and restaurants.
Man, listeners' ears must be burning because our next question is about whether more restaurants will be added. So, right now, the first two restaurants that participated were The Ordinary and Lola's Mexican Cuisine. Last week, you added the Breakfast Bar, and you have some very exciting news for us today. So, you might as well just share it.
Definitely. So we've got, Long Beach is a big city. I live in Belmont Shore. My businesses are in downtown, but it's love for Long Beach. So we decided to activate in the north side of Long Beach. We activated Roxanne's. So Roxanne's is now officially a part of World Central Kitchen. They'll be sending out meals tonight for the first time. So I'll be going over there to watch prep. And from here on out, they're also a part of this. So we're covering, big chunks of the city. It's important to me that employees from all over the city are getting taken care of. Seniors from all over Long Beach are getting taken care of. So we're continuing to scale. Obviously, World Central Kitchen doesn't have unlimited money to give unlimited meals to every human on earth. So that's where people of Long Beach can be of a lot of assistance there. We've received a ton of people wanting to volunteer. It just doesn't work like that in the corona pandemic, unfortunately. But the best thing anybody from Long Beach can do to take care of Long Beach is donate to World Central Kitchen, and in the donations comment box, put Long Beach, because World Central Kitchen is covering 100% of all of the overhead. So if you donate $1 to our program, the entire dollar goes to Long Beach. So we're looking at it $10 a day. $10 will feed one senior in Long Beach for a day. I understand a lot of people are out of jobs. Maybe $10 is too hard to come by, but there's somebody that everybody knows that's got $10. The more that we can get donations to our Long Beach cause, the more we can grow, the more we can scale it. Because again, it's a nonprofit. This is, World Central Kitchen, as huge as it is still funded by donations.
I'm glad you bring up the donation aspect, because not only was that asked, like, how can we support Tank, but maybe let listeners know the impact just in the past 3 weeks that this program has had. I mean, let's talk numbers and yeah.
So as of today, as I look at it, we are pumping out nearly 7,000 meals a week. We started off strong. We started off 2 restaurants, started moving, and we thought, man, we just did like 1,000 meals. And now after this week, we're going to be up over, I think the latest numbers, we're going to be over 20,000 meals at the end of this week. So we are pushing numbers. Unfortunately, sometimes we're limited by me and what my capacity is for, work in a day, which is about 20 hours right now. But, we're continuing to try to find seniors that are really, truly affected by this. So, we just added another facility in Mercy House. And the people that we're feeding there, these are disabled. These are some people on hospice. These are people that are doing really, really bad that didn't know where that next meal was coming from. So we're really getting meals in the hands of the people that need it. And our partners at Lola's, The Ordinary, Breakfast Bar, and now Roxanne's, I've watched all of these meals come out. These seniors are eating much better than I am these days. It's incredible to see it all come together. So we're doing numbers, and we're still trying to grow where we can.
What are some of the challenges that you're facing? I mean, this thing is very much kind of like the Wild West. It's run and go with it. World Central Kitchen kind of handed the reins off to you and was like, run with it. What have been some of the more uphill battles?
Oh, man. So uphill battles have only reminded me of what you and I were talking about earlier, which are the tenuous Long Beach connections. So a big part of it, man, has been I only have so many hours and I can only make so many phone calls at the same time. Everybody's got a role to play. And in a lot of ways, I'm just the conductor of communication to World Central Kitchen, to the facilities, to the restaurants. And I've had a wonderful bunch of people try to help and dive in where they can, but a lot of it's just inside of my head, right? So it's being the center point of communication for everybody, making sure that the seniors are getting the meals that they need. If there's 5 vegan meals that are needed here, is it making sure that the restaurants are taken care of, touching base with UPS, touching base with, my folks at World Central Kitchen, getting stickers for the boxes and getting banners up. I'm also shooting the content for it to make sure that the message is getting out, because it's really important for the employees and for the seniors. So I'm running around with a camera, fully masked up, shooting, trying to get that to the media team. It's just, juggling chainsaws, right? But haven't dropped one yet. And so many amazing people are backstopping me, right? My partners at UPS, I know, have my back and are making sure that everything's going smoothly. Luis and Brenda and Christy and Josh and Pam and Robert, these people have gone above and beyond. They're not making money for their restaurant. They're staffing it back up and cranking out meals. So it's not just my efforts. It just feels like Herculean efforts by everybody. It will be nice to get a breather. I'm supposed to be on vacation this month. So
good luck on that one.
Nice to get a vacation after this, but a why, right? Starting with why. Why are you doing the thing that you're doing? Because for sure, man, when it's 11 p.m. at night and I'm burnt out and maybe I got beat up, in my normal jobs during the day, knowing that, all right, send out one more email, make one more call. Maybe that feeds one more person or gets one more person back to work. That why is powerful enough, I think, to motivate you through anything.
I think a lot of restaurateurs are probably out there like, how do I get involved with this? Would you go into your process? I've had a lot of personal messages too from restaurateurs, like, how do I get involved? How can I get my kitchen staff hired? Because obviously every restaurateur has their restaurant family and it really is a family for them. So being able to provide them with jobs, again, would be obviously ideal, but it's not always possible until you have enough money, right? That's basically how it's broken down.
For sure. So, starting off, the ordinary is right, below the Raven and the Wolves. So, I know Christy. Christy started construction right after we opened up, so saw his process. So Christy was a friend and really knew him. So he was a logical start. Brenda and Luis, Lola's, I think, is a pillar of Long Beach, and they do a lot. They do a lot for the community. So it was really nice for me to be able to reach out to them, and they were so responsive and so fast. Josh and Pam, I eat at Breakfast Bar pretty often. They provide great food, great service, and they're just a couple of people trying to make a go at it, and really do what they can.
And they were just about to expand too with their second location. So I mean, this must have been a huge blessing for them.
Yeah, they seem pretty stoked on it, man. It's been a lot of work getting up and ramping. And I'm sure once that first check hits, it's going to be really nice. But yeah, so it's kind of been organic. I've had at least tenuous relationships, if not a relationship through another person in Long Beach, which is really how I got to Roxanne's on the north side. It's just calling on my community of people, like who knows whom. I've received a bunch of messages and I've tried to get back to everybody. If I haven't, I'm sorry. But yeah, continue reaching out. There's a World Central Kitchen link where we receive the information on restaurants too. I think we're at a little bit of a capacity point right now until we can, and there's a lot of ideas on how to kick donations up a little bit so we can continue expanding. But the process has really been, who do I know? Let me start with people I know are close to me, or people that a third party knows that can say, hey, they're not going to screw this up, because no matter what, paramount to me is making sure that I make World Central Kitchen look good in this, right? My buddy Josh, this is his career. My friend Fatima, this is they pledged their lives to this cause. So I have to do the best that I can do, which helps having partner restaurants that I know. I would love to grow more. Please, no one worry about my time. Send me messages. I'll receive them and communicate. And then it's, if Long Beach can stand up, get some more donations rolling, hopefully we can continue to scale this project and grow. Every week that we've been doing it now, we've added another restaurant and at least 2 facilities. So I believe in Long Beach. I believe in us.
So donations are absolutely key. I really want to reemphasize that with listeners.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's not a money grab, because remember, 100% of the money that you donate to World Central Kitchen and you write Long Beach in the comments, all of that money goes directly to meals. World Central Kitchen doesn't take a cent of it, and it just goes direct to feeding the people that really need it. So anybody, $10 feeds a senior in Long Beach for a day. And we've got some good ideas. I'm going to do a matching program this week and put my own money in the pot. I know the city's working on something, so we're trying. There's a whole team of people really trying to get this as successful and big as possible.
I wanted to actually share with you, not a question, but a compliment. And hopefully this will keep on fueling you in doing what you're doing right now. But someone said, thank you for what you and your team is doing. It brings amazing faith in Long Beach pulling together for a common cause. I think it's a really beautiful reflection of what most of the city feels about what you're doing right now.
Awesome, man. No, it's I'm an emotional person, so I get a little emotional with things, but it's really beautiful to hear stuff like that because, our studio, me and my partner, Carlos, the Raven and the Wolves, me personally love Long Beach. I could live anywhere on earth and live in Long Beach for a reason. It's this community of entrepreneurs, of weirdos, of heavily tattooed people, of artists and beautiful souls that all come together to weave the tapestry of the fabric of Long Beach. And I wouldn't want it any other way. And I think this program is a real reflection of what Long Beach does, right? Long Beach will get together and stand up and unite against the common enemy, which is the coronavirus. We'll unite for a common good, which is the people of Long Beach. So it's incredible, man. This has really amplified everything I ever thought about Long Beach and everything I ever believed about this beautiful city. It's only strengthened it and increased it. So I'm super thankful for all the comments because I know they matter, not just to me, but to all of my partners and everybody else that's doing this. It's really cool. The outpouring of love has been really, really special.
I'm right there with you, my friend. One more thing before we sign off that I think is really awesome to let you know, let people know. As long as these mandates and this coronavirus pandemic is continuing, how long will World Central Kitchen support you?
We're going as long as this goes, man. We're locked in. We're dialed in. So, as long as this is going to go, World Central Kitchen is involved, and I'll be here fighting the good fight.
Amen, brother. I really, really, really genuinely appreciate you coming on today and doing what you do. I know the whole city loves it, backs it. Someone just said this man is a saint on Instagram. So
not quite, but
Saint Tank. I genuinely appreciate your time. There will be another chat for all our listeners and watchers tomorrow at 1 p.m. Our reporter, Stephanie Rivera, will be talking to the Clean Air Coalition, if I'm not mistaken, and that will be tomorrow at 1. Tank, thank you again for everything that you're doing. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your efforts. If you weren't sharing this, man, it wouldn't have gone nearly as far as it is. So you're playing a part in this too, my friend. I really appreciate you, and so does everybody else.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Take care.